Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of your OGR. As today, the Edmonton Oilers went up against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and well, we took a big fat old L as the Edmonton Oilers lost 5-2 in a game that was pretty disappointing, to say the least, on how we gave it up. But I mean, also the refs were calling a lot of calls against us near the end of the game. I think there was a too many men call that we had against us, and yeah, that was really it. I mean, that was the only big penalty. I mean, there was a decent amount of penalties throughout this game as well, again, where the refs were going a little crazy throughout the night, calling, everything. But besides that, it wasn't as terrible as the night against the Avs, where it felt like they were personally out to get us. But before we get into this crazy game where we didn't have Darnell Nurse or even Jesse Puljujarvi in the game, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. So yeah, we didn't have Darnell Nurse or Jesse Puljujarvi in this game, so we were going without Nurse in the defense core, which makes it look pretty rough. And I honestly like the way that Jay Woodcroft deployed the defensive pairings, especially 5-on-5. Everybody 5-on-5 got about the same amount of minutes. Like Kulak and Barry played 14. Keith and Bouchard played at 14, 10 seconds just below Barry and Kulak, and then Russell and Cece played about 12:45. That was low-key one of the worst defensive pairings throughout the night. They weren't very great. But otherwise, the Edmonton Oilers, we played all right. We had a pretty rough first period. We didn't do a whole lot. The second period is where we really picked it up, and we were starting to generate a lot of offense. And then we just puttered out. We just didn't do anything after we scored with Leon. We were just like, all right, well, we already clinched, we don't really need to worry about this. It's, just kind of collect it back in and just flow our way into the next game here or whatever. But I don't know. We need to start, continuing to gain that momentum and gain that traction and getting that chemistry going, just in case, Nurse doesn't come back in the lineup or whatever it may be. I hope he fucking does. Like, my lord, that would be rough to not have Darnell Nurse to start off the playoffs. I mean, it would make it a little bit fair since the LA doesn't have Drew Doughty, but let's get into all the scoring summary here in this game between the Oilers and the Blue Jackets. As Evander Kane got the very first goal of the game here for the Edmonton Oilers, scoring his 21st goal of the season. Beautiful drop back pass by McDavid over to Kane, and he just bolted it right past Merzlikins, and he got his 21st, and it was a beauty. I mean, Evander Kane's really been heating up over these last few games. Again, a hat trick in the last one, goal against the Dallas Stars, goal here for the against the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's really been heating up, and he's been a pretty nice pickup for the team. He's not amazing. He has that great, terrific finishing ability, which I really do like of Kane. But everything else is just sort of meh. He's not the greatest passer in the world, nor is he the greatest skater. He's all right at generating a lot of offense, but he's just able to find the right places to be at to score the goals, and I think that's a big thing here with Evander Kane. Moving on towards the next goal, Eric Robinson got his 10th goal of the season for the Columbus Blue Jackets. This was a puck that was just bouncing all over the place. We couldn't handle it. We couldn't swat it away. Just ended up in Robertson's hands, and he just really tucked into the back of the net. Like DeBrusk said, we really weren't able to do anything on this play. The puck was bouncing all over the place. I mean, yeah, maybe Barry could have got better contact with it, but even in the end, the puck was bouncing where it wanted to bounce, and it just kind of bounced towards the front of the net, and Eric Robinson was able to tap it in. And in a beautiful one-time goal, as Leon Draisaitl was able to get his 55th goal of the season. Absolute beautiful pass by Connor McDavid, sent on my man Leon Draisaitl to get his 55th goal of the season, getting the Edmonton Oilers a 2-1 lead. And then heading into the third period, this is where it just all fell apart. Bjorkstrand got his 25th goal of the season. He was just walking all around the McDavid lineup. They weren't able to do anything, and nor were they able to do anything defensively either throughout this entire play. And then Nick Blankenberg, the guy from Michigan, I think he is from the University of Michigan, of course. He got his first career goal in the NHL on a power play goal. It was an absolute bolt from the point to give them the lead, and then Roslovic got his 21st goal of the season. This was a really bad read from everyone. We turned it over, and then CC stepped up, leaving Russell by himself on a 2-on-1. And it just, once again, like these bad step-up plays where, it is part of Jay Woodcroft's system, without a doubt. But sometimes these guys got to fucking notice when they're not going to be able to get this puck. And I do like that they play really aggressive. I do like that fact. But there's a point in time where, like, you have to take a look and, like, is this play gonna backfire, and is this play gonna create a 2-on-1? And if it is, don't go for it. And if you think you could get that puck or disrupt it in any ways, go for it. Disrupt it, get that puck. But CC stepped up pretty bad. It was at a horrible time and created a 2-on-1 and a beautiful goal by Roslovic. And then another bad turnover by Bouchard, which gave a chance to Cole Sillinger to put him his 15th goal in the back of the net on a empty netter. Not a lot to talk about. Of course, wasn't able to fully pay attention to this game, unfortunately. And we're getting down to the wire here over these next few games. So you're really not seeing a team that's really, competing. I mean, we're competing for home ice advantage, and that's a big thing right now for us, is that, we want to get home ice advantage against the Kings. But we clinched. You're going to see the boys take a little bit of a step back, relax themselves a little bit more, and you're definitely going to be seeing that a little bit more with the next few games. As they kind of get tuned up and ready for the playoff run. So we'll kind of start talking about the lineups and everything like that. For 5-on-5 lines, we're not really going to talk about that. There was so many mixtures of lines. The only line that really kind of stayed throughout the game was Kane, McDavid, Yamamoto, but they were horrible defensively throughout the entire night as someone's ripping down the street. They were horrible defensively, not bad offensively. They didn't really do a whole lot. McLeod was pretty good throughout the night. He didn't get a whole whack ton of minutes, but he did really good on the PK. That's a bit. Actually, he did get a pretty good amount of minutes. Never mind. I was just taking a look, but he did really well. He was really good defensively. That was a big thing for McLeod. He was phenomenal defensively, especially on the PK. He did really, really good throughout the entire night. He was really really nice. Draisaitl also looked great throughout the entire night as well, alongside of Hyman. I really liked when they paired Nuge, Hyman, and Draisaitl. It seemed like it worked really well. It was just reminding me of that dynamite line that we used to have when we had Nuge, Draisaitl, and Yamamoto, and they were playing so damn hot. It almost reminds me of that. They look so good. They have instant chemistry. They look really good, especially since Nuge and Hyman already played really good alongside of each other. That line just looks absolutely magnificent, and they did really good. Brassard had not a very great night. I really didn't like him. Same with Shore, Fogle, Cassie, and Ryan. Wasn't a big fan of any of those guys throughout the entire night. They were just not good 5-on-5, nor were they good on the PK if they get on it. They were just really bad throughout the entire night. Ryan was very meh, but they weren't that great throughout the night. Bouchard had a pretty rough night, but Keith, he was probably one of the better guys throughout the entire night. Honestly, he wasn't terrible for the team. He was just okay once again. So, I mean, if I'm saying that, if he's just okay, that means he didn't have that bad of a night and didn't make big mistakes. So I do give that to Duncan Keith. Brett Kulak had a decent night. He wasn't great, phenomenal defensively, but Barry did all right as well. They had just an all right night playing 5-on-5 wise, but it definitely wasn't phenomenal. And then Russell and Cece, they were very meh as well. And I felt like we definitely missed playing 7D man throughout the night. Kind of took us out of our juice, especially since Nurse was the main guy alongside of CC. Just, putting two guys that are defensive defensemen alongside each other does not bound very good. It's not a very good idea to play those two guys alongside of each other. So I definitely think Nurse was a big, miss out of the night, as they were one of our worst defensive cores, pairings throughout the entire night. Keith and Bouchard didn't generate a whole lot of offense throughout the entire night, but they were one of our best defensive pairings throughout the entire night. They didn't give up a whole lot of chances. They only gave up about 10 shot attempts. Same with Kulak and Barry. They only give up about 3, but they did give up a goal where they were just kind of getting swarmed around. But they also played very well defensively throughout the night as well, and they weren't a bad defensive pairing as well. But Kulak didn't have the most amazing night in the world, and I think that was because he mostly got a lot of the bulk of the minutes on that left side. He got about 19-12, which is the same as Keith. So they got a bulk of the minutes throughout the entire night on that left-hand side. So that is about it that I got to talk about with this game. Yuka Koskinen didn't look that bad either. But I imagine Mike Smith is going to be our starter going into the playoffs right now, especially since Koskinen hasn't gotten a whole lot of starts over the past few games. And when he hasn't been that phenomenal. He's only had 3 starts throughout April, and he only had really one good one where he jumped in that Colorado game. And he hasn't had that good of a start since March 30th against the LA Kings. So we'll have to see. Maybe Koskinen will get another start, but we'll have to see. But for right now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios, amigos.